Alright. Hello and welcome, I'm Stooge, and today we are continuing The Great Ace Attorney. So give me just a moment, I make sure my now live notification gets on my Discord, which you can join here, and then we will get started. Apologize for the late start. Pokey was just poking me. I didn't see it. Alright. There we go. Everything's ready. Let's go. Now, last week we learned that the secret police, at least I believe that's what, oh wow, that's quiet. Let's turn that up and let's show you what there is to see. All right, we're gonna continue. Yes. All right, so before we go, let's take a look at the record here. So last week we learned that, why is he suddenly the head waiter again rather than, a chief inspector of the secret police or whatever? Let's see, we'll go back here. There's the business card. Yeah. He's a police inspector. So we are, now let's see what she has to say about the victim's death. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. Uh-huh. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in toast. As far as I know, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other ways a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably won't pick up on it anyways. You gotta love them. How are you doing today, Pokey? Thank you for the pokes. That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Yeah, no exit wound bullet did not pass. Fatal hemorrhaging from pectoral ballistic trauma. Have some more head pats. All of the head pats. Okay. Easy does it. I hope that is the last time I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. No, you'll be doing it a lot. Oh, and forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Not at all. Not at all. It is a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. Let's get the mouse out of there. Shut up, Ouchie. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I disagree. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened to you today. The Minister of Justice? Why you make... Oh, I had a bad depression day yesterday, but it's better now, stupid brain. Why make sad chemicals, brain? That's a very good question. I want to know why my brain doesn't make happy chemicals. May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Thanks. Was that a prayer then? Was that a prayer then? Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett. And put up with the cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, DD chemicals? No. My brain does not make DD chemicals. My brain doesn't make happy chemicals unless there's something new and captivating. And then after the new and captivating becomes boring, it's like, okay, I'm done. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with the witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. All right, let's take a look at what else we've got here. So we have the glass, which is where the poison was. And that's it. Alright, we'll just press. But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't have not noticed. You can't not have noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. I'm sorry. Ever since I arrived in this courtroom, and even now, still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you? Huh? What? Ah! What fun. You hadn't realized. Is absolutely right. As your friend, you have embarrassed me as well as yourself, Ryunosuke. Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over vulgar screams. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can.
Yes!
Well, I can't. Anyway.
Yes!
Now we have to press on every little thing. As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember. Which explains why he ordered that drink, correct, waiter? Exactly as you say, sir. Although... although... Whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak onto the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you. I haven't enough English to understand that, at least for the benefit of the others in the court. It means bless you. Oh, I have enough English to understand that. I think it means the exact opposite. Anyway.
Yes!
Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes. Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it can only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life. I think the Japanese, at this point in time, would be very familiar with the idea of poisons. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burnt his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must have already had been dead at that point.
Objection!
Objection! And yet the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Until you're I gotta show you something. I gotta take a picture though. Give me a moment. Because this is kind of funny. There you go, it's in Discord. Until you're able to show the court evidence that disproves that, this is a complete waste of time. I concur. Prosecutor Ouchie is right. Ugh. No, I was explaining.
Yes!
Without leaving a trace, if someone is shot or strangled or stabbed or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. Quite right, dear lady. And our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga? Hosonaga. As I've said, I've always aimed for a flawless investigation. There would be physical traces with all of those causes of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark? If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh no, perish the thought calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. In what way is she sweet? Oh, my honor. I take Taketsuchi Ouchi. Taketsuchi Ouchi. Take such... Taketsuchi Ouchi. Take such ouchie? I don't know. There's a pun there, but I can't quite grasp it. On my honor. On my honor, I, Taketsuchi Ouchi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions. A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence.
Yes!
Inferior, what do you mean by that? Take some, Ouchie. I think it's take such an Ouchie. But I don't know. In the lands of the great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once, and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Quite right. Le Carnaval is open for business as usual today. Just days after the incident. Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. It doesn't even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful as I can about this as I can, you understand. Killer blow. The lady is as formidable as she is beautiful. Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchie is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Ryunosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Are you sure about that? Yes, as I suspected, she's a tough witness. Actually, I just need to have that on a button. The actual audio for that. So I can just go, "Nyeh." Yes, as suspected, she's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma. What, Ryunosuke? There is one thing I noticed, something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person standing next to her, Inspector Hosonaga. The detective? Yes. He seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on the last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then. I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. I'll find out soon enough. I suppose once I press Miss Brett on her last statement again.
Yes!
Inferior, what do you mean by that? In the lands of... yes. Exactly, which means even in the event takes a day, and which means that in the event, if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. Yes, there it is again. The detective's reaction, just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been standing with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the English woman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man and his train of thought. Sorry, pursue? I'll explain how to do it now. Ryunosuke, it's all to do with the witness marker. Witness marker? What marker? At the moment we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. But by moving the marker left to right, you can turn your attention to the other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witness, you'll be able to pursue them with A. If you can catch that person at just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere among the people who who are on the stand, take a good look around. All right then. So first, I should move the marker across with the D-pad and focus on the detective. Then pursue him with A and see what's on his mind. Here we go.
Wait.
I'm pressing the D-pad.
Excuse me.
It's not the D-pad, it's the stick. Yeah. What's the meaning of this? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts. Deeply. It looked like you were thinking of something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say. If there's something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court.
Objection!
What's the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. You can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately. Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes! Not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved with the case. Inspector Hosonaga? Yes. Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Well, yes. If you don't mind. I would like to speak. How is his towel not just blood red at this moment? The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain, which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. This is the white blood cells. They could do an entire season of Cells at Work based on his body right now. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. A crime scene thief? Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Is that? This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day, our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming, I guarantee it. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. The carbonated water has been entered into the court record. Miss Brett? Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she had answered the judge's question. Very well, counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor. I don't want to present it, but I do want to examine it. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. This must be very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. Then go to France and ask. You could just say that you don't know. I can't find anything out of it. Alright. I know it's wine right now, but it was grape juice, I swear. Yeah. So this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. Looks like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going. No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh no, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke. In more ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. All right. We're gonna do a quick cheeky save. And then we are going to present the water bottle.
Yes!
What is this? The bottle of water? Actually, there's one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Order! 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 And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could have possibly done it. Giselle Brett. It was you!
Objection!
This is outrageous to suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile. Have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime. What? The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. Ahem, if I may. I will silence you forever. I will silence you forever for this disgraceful attack on the lovely young... It is you who should be silent. Of course. Dear lady. Where did that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring? I described your police force as inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? Then did you check the glass that was in her bag? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And what did you find, Inspector? I ordered the test for every toxin that is available in this country at present time. Assuming it's not one that she brought over from the UK. Or British Empire. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No. No! I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. I was so sure. This can't be right. Oh, this part's right. Don't worry. After all, if the bottle itself was poisoned, then she would have been poisoned too, and that would have failed the assassination. Or murder. Take your pick. No. It's probably more accurate to say that the glass itself was poisoned when she poured it. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution has asserted, a shot to the chest from the gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused... Assassin's teapot? Probably not. No. Who, by his own admission, was holding the weapon. This weapon is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this may have caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no. I'm just glad this matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point? Kazuma? Come on, guys. I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more I have nothing more. I do. Look at that. Right here. What's this? Why, it's a glass. Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving.
Hold it!
I don't know her name. Yet. Please, wait! Isn't that... What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on the court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Mikotoba? In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. Is that Phoenix's great-great-grandmother? And in her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. To be continued. Why, yes, I will save my current progress. I have not had to reload yet. Then again, this is the tutorial case. How terrible would it be if I had to reload in the tutorial case? 22nd November, 1:14 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. Are they using judicature in place of prefecture? Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why the sudden ingress into my courtroom? A judicial assistant? And a woman, no less. The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify. Yes, I fully understand, and I asked you for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded. Really? There's been a verdict? 5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more. But, Your Excellency... I am most grateful. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. What is it? A report about something, written in English. It's Giselle Brett's research. The Englishwoman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty, and borrowed this paper. Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I can't read. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh no, of course not. Special characteristics of curare and its effect on human subjects. Interesting. Curare. What's that? I've never heard that word before. Time's up. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom. There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I have surmised what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eyes over it. This is wonderful, thank you. Giselle's report has been added to the court record. Goodbye then, and good luck. Alright, let's take a look at the court record. You have had long enough, counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Effects: instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Route of entry: the above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Due to its ability to render a human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthesic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients will die from suffocation. I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but... The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. I'm sorry, I have a hard time distinguishing their voices. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett? Yes, Your Excellency. If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer. It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline. Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order. I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense. I'm sorry, but that is a common way of doing stuff in English as well, so you know. My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention?
Yes!
Miss Giselle Brett. We understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at UMA University doing research. Research by sheer coincidence, perhaps, into a deadly poison. What? Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel? A toxin known as curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entered the body leads to instant death.
Objection!
What? What complete and utter nonsense. Curare, you say? I've never heard of it. You wouldn't have done. You wouldn't have done. Is this just a localization issue? Or is this just something I don't understand, Pokey? Or anybody else? What do you mean? I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Correct. Which means, no matter what tests the police do for toxins, they'd never identify curare. Okay. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison. What? Order. Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, curare has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. To lace their arrows? The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. And it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection!
Trumpery. These aspirations are utter trumpery. To start with, if the victim had been administered some so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain. The other diners would have surely noticed. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around. What do you mean the other way around? The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that curare was used. Explain yourself, counsel. The moment the toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair underneath him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscles that control our respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. That's hideous! To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly curare poison. And you're suggesting that this bottle, Council, actually contains this terrifying poison? This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense. Ahem, if I may. All these facts, you think you're so clever, but you may... But you must be taught some man... It is you who must be taught. Of course. Dear lady. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. Well, we discovered your hard work. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime. That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection!
Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules. What's so funny? Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett? May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Well, yes, I don't see why not. She's gonna drink from the bottle because it wasn't the bottle that was poisoned, it was the glass. Come on, people! Glug, 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 glug. Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. Sorry? Why? Why are they ignoring the glass? To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all. Now, it's time for the games to end. Cheers. Why do they ignore the glass? Wait, what are you doing? No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. Goodness, whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned. No, I'm not. So, no curare? The glass. The glass! The bottle was clean, is what you're saying. You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Duh. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett. I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Yes, dear lady. We are most grateful with all the assistance you've given us. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how? How did she swallow the whole glass and live to tell the tale? That's it. I don't understand it. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water contains no poison. As I thought, there is no poison in that bottle. What? Why? Ryunosuke? Isn't it obvious if there was poison in there, she'd be dead by now? Sometimes you wonder, your unadulterated naivety really astounds me. But sometimes it's in need of a good staining until it's as dark as your uniform in the ways of the world. Oh, is that what this color is supposed to represent? That was a guileless ending of a promising line of inquiry, counsel, for which you will be penalized. Ugh. This whole trial is poisoned. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have killed over dead. All right. The culprit did put Cora and Dr. Wilson. Okay, that's not fair. That isn't fair. Carbonated water is not the bottle. The culprit did put curare poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious?
Objection!
Fool, are you blind? There is no possible way the bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Brett drinking the water from it. That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained. How exactly? I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains the witness was able to consume the supposedly poisoned water unscathed? It seems the defense, or should I say, the wretched accused, is the only real source of complication in this case. You'll have to think... What? Sorry, Your Excellency. I'll try to find better supporting evidence. You're making this complication more complicated than it needs to be. Alright. Then I must ask you some... Yeah. Right.
Yes.
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report. And that's not a valid explanation, no. After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. The impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Sasato's notes. Sasato-san's notes. Oops. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, Counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle? It's written right here under practical applications, I think. Oh, really? Go on. Well, think about it. You want to know how the poison can be drunk without taking effect? That's a practical application, of the poison's use as a drink, maybe?
Objection!
You'll have to do better than that. I shudder to think how we'll fare. What the All right. What the... Well, first, the bottle doesn't contain the poison. Yeah. Oh. Special characteristics is what they're looking for. Yes. Sorry. I'm getting frustrated. I shudder to think how we'll fare in the 20th century if we're led by the likes of you. Ryunosuke. What? Read properly. Thanks for the concise advice. Something explains how the English woman could have taken the curare with no ill effects. I'd better reread her research paper and see what I can spot, if I can spot anything. Huh, you don't have any more of a clue about that English tome than I do. It's completely intractable. I concur. This report is too extensive. Yes. We've been hearing a lot about this curare poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, Counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Get to the point, please. But if they were to use the laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey as the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, Counsel, no, that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum. In this research paper here, under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see. That makes sense. Yes. The mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. Oh. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like when it's written like this. When Kurare enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. When it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. What? Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew Kurare's special characteristics, and you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little rapscallion! Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really. Me? A lawyer?
Objection!
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. But I fail to see how it possibly... So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with, some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish? Flaw? As even your brain has managed to deduce, Kurare is safe to ingest. Seems like that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. Stomach acid. Oh yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they? So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, then the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? Ah, that's right. Good gracious. That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no? Order! Order in the court! Order! The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected the same way. Have they forgotten why he was only able to drink water? Are you trying to suggest? Yes, this Kurare poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that. What is this welling up inside me? I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. What the... It's a point! What the heck? What the fuck was that? I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well there is no fatal flaw here. Ay caramba! You know exactly why, even though both of you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you, you must provide compelling evidence, as we know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the Kurare?
Take that!
Take that! As Miss Brett said, and so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was one fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? The toxic effects of Kurare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it's completely harmless. But what if there wasn't a wound inside the mouth of the person that drinking the poison water? Inside? Yes, like the wound you might have If you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Oh! Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These child courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are all so puerile. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No! I mean, it could just slip. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No! What is it? What just happened? It's the Englishwoman. She has smashed the bottle. And in the Supreme Court, what a terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect as much of that water from the broken bottle as possible at once. You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor presence of mind to recover it. How could you? You won't get away with this. You can't trump the bench and shout. You can thump the bench and shout at as much as you like, little boy, but I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle or not. And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? Oh, of course, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady? That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So, of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
No. You killed the victim that day using curare. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you arranged for him to find on the floor before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hitting gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit the crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say, and I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence. Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. And delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Why do I keep screwing that up? This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke, yes? We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. In my head? You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend on. Well, yes, that's true, but But I didn't notice that this woman was a foreigner with the swan on her head. So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibration, in the vibrant memory of this same scene in my head, could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? There is a clue. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. What I saw, what I felt, what I witnessed and I smelt, what I dealt. I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Let's take a look at the court record in this photo. Except for it's not there in the photo. And I'm sorry, but that contrast would show up in a black and white photo. Ha! You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe that smug smile off that Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been. I mean, isn't it obvious? Okay.
Take that!
Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yes? What is it? Ugh, he's still miles away. Probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the crime scene? Like, for instance, the plate of steak you took to the victim's table that day?
Objection!
Wait a minute, where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a spattering of blood. What? Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. And if I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there is no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter, which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor as you were. I beg your pardon?
Objection!
This is beyond ridiculous, fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something as the accused has apparently just remembered seeing?
Hold it!
This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean? Yes, I took the plate, in the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it Meat and all, I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it. You did what? I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all in the name of justice! Then we can find out for ourselves whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now! Inspector? The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir! And sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it? Of course there isn't. Quickly, Inspector, the blood man. Show the court. Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. This is not the right steak. It's been wiped clean. It's a different steak. You confused the steaks. See? If you look here at the way it's cut, it's a different steak. No blood. Did they just chomp on the steak without cutting it? That's my question. No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible! I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. Tis. I couldn't agree more in this case of this disgrace to the Empire. I believe we may have finally reached a conclusion in this trial. Let's hope so. Let's pretend attempting at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. Jump. Sorry. But I do promise to do my best to forget about it when it's over. This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly. A different steak. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to explain it again, be my guest. The plate of steak has been entered into the court record. Was the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? This is it now. I've lost. Ryunosuke, it's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objections? Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. And the hallmark is from the Hoei area, I believe. No, I don't mean it. I don't mean what is it. I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, didn't you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yes. And apart from the meat juices, it looks like it's in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today that there's been talk of a Hoei Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but never heard of bullion before bullion. I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... I never certainly expected to find a precious coin underneath a thick cut of meat. And it's from the Hoei area, too. That would make it really quite valuable. It's well marinated in the juices as well, look. What are you thinking? What, are you thinking of eating it? No. But the next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's going to be racing as I lift up the meat to peer underneath for a prize. I think you might be on the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryunosuke. A Koban coin underneath this steak. There's only one logical explanation. Oh, no. Oopsie! That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? There's another clue. Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth. The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak. Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel, for the defense. You will now clearly show the court what you are alluding. Where precisely on the plate of beefsteak is this new clue found? Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's... Okay, are we seriously going through this now? Wait. Did you say it was Hoei Koban? Yes. Apart from the meat juices, it looks like it's been... Alright. Yeah. Come on. Oh, I have to present... Okay, I screwed up. Come on.
Got it!
Got it! Good gracious, that's... Koban? What on earth? A Hoei era one at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak you ordered at the restaurant the day in question, is it? This isn't, in fact. Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it. I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in the moment of distraction. Really? Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my tickets to Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel. A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now. Ryunosuke, you're not a lawyer. Not yet, anyways. You're just playing one on TV.
Objection!
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway. Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is about to be irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this Koban if he can explain what it's doing under that steak. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. The owner of that Koban was found underneath the steak.
Take that!
Is obviously it can only be the antique dealer and owner of Rasute, Kiryo Korekuta-san. Kiryo, as in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired. And the gunshot interests me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Yeah, okay. We saw this last week. We're not going to reread it. Then this Hoei era Koban, do you mean to tell me? No, please. Why would Korekuda-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense. Haochi, I've got some news for you. It might be hard for you to understand. The victim wasn't eating steak.
Yes!
Which is why I'm asking to bring Korekuda-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here, without a moment's delay. I can't believe we've come back round to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find that it's a key element in this case. Because obviously, the sergeant, hid the Koban underneath his plate, underneath his steak. What's this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize it's dinner time for little baby I don't know? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves. Exploited by the police, we were. Like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom myself, I became a ruined man and thrice. A worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun is set on this Rasute shop owner's existence. Be that as may, Korekuta-san. Something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasute memory serves, have you ever seen this Koban before? Yes, that's it. The one, the very exact one that it is. The resplendent, splendiferous Hoei treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day. It can't be. As I thought. Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped? Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat juices. Sandwich? Soaking? Seriously? Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident, which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose. Somebody concealed my Hoei treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate. Who would do such a thing, such an unconscionable thing? Excuse me. Could I say something? Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga. I mentioned this earlier in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case. Oh, yeah. Yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation. The Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. The soldier boy seems nervous. Doesn't he, though? It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent undercover, is it? Yes, I took the job of a waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid the Korekura-san's Koban is all too clear. What? What? I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on the matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole the Korekura-san's Koban and hid it under the steak? His dining partner, obviously.
Take that!
Hello, Breeze CG. How are you doing? It's been a minute. Obviously, it can be only you, Sergeant Ayasanosa. What? How dare you? You monster! Monster? I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of Le Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet. But it wasn't me. It was Ido. Ido is the mastermind behind this. Behind all this. Really? You're gonna blame your baby? Really? You would push the blame of your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Oh, wow. Okay, maybe he is. Clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop. Nippon Imperial Army, Sergeant Ayasanosa. Yasanosa. That's where I've been causing problems, because I keep saying the I with a non-Latin pronunciation. It's Yasanosa. Preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. All right, I gotta back that up so I can see. Yasanosa. Yep. Okay. Didn't really miss anything. Yasanosa. Do any of you know of the extraordinary low wages the Nippon and Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe. I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remain in place. And I have heard it's hard for lower ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant? The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days I'd go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time. It sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man in his koban? Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are. I was all set to leave the steak. I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. Aido too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could on the double. I slipped it under the steak, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. Chomping at the steak. I believe it's more chomping at the bit. All right, I gotta do a quick BRB. Give me just a few minutes. I appreciate everybody's patience. Alrighty, I am back, and I appreciate everybody's patience. I'm sorry for the silence. This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling on your own time. Well, Miss Brett. Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. I just want there to be like a drop of blood. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency. Indeed. The theft of the Koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant, who would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it? Well... Oh, wow. Oh, wrong hand. Okay. I can see it. The reason why I say oh wow is because my stream information, my Twitch stats, and my chat all just went blank in OBS. So give me a moment while I bring up Twitch with the crash tab. Oh. So I can read the chat. Yeah, that's what I was checking, Poke. I was looking at YouTube to make sure I was still live. That's why I put my hand up, so I could notice it on the smaller YouTube monitor. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Very well, now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave. Thank you, Your Excellency, and good luck, everyone. Objection, and good day. Objection. Objection! Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just something about Miss Brett's parting words there. Got me thinking. I can't quite work out exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there's a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't you stand there thinking, make your voice heard. Sorry. You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
Wait, Miss Brett. What is it now? I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction? What new student nonsense is this? Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryosuke? Beyond that. Yeah. Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need some evidence, Counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are a contradiction, where is the evidence to prove it?
Take that!
The photographic print of the scene taken immediately after the incident occurred? What's interesting is the plate of steak that you can see on the victim's table. The steak that is before the... Yes, go on. Interesting. Because the steaks are different if you compare If you compare this steak. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I was wrong, but it does look different to me anyways. Miraculously, excellently. The steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Now you're just splitting hairs. Not true. Doesn't something about this steak strike you as unnatural? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Noticed what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself. Then take a good look at this steak. In particular, the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Oh. Looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in this steak at all.
Objection!
But what is your actual point? Perhaps that delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry. Ravenously hungry and couldn't help her. Whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course. This will all be over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured. I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave everything to me. I've heard enough, you irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Of course. Dear lady. What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly the witness knows what this means. She realized the catastrophic implication these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Ryunosuke? Do you know where you're going with this? Yes, now at last it all comes together. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seemed to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency. Everything? Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase, typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. Hasn't been what? But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
This is absurd. The trial has run several hours already, and you say there's the evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you. I don't believe you have it.
Objection!
I don't, but there's someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit this piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth behind the whole affair?
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I haven't? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this steak with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier in this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoyed chomping my way through a good steak. As well as admitting to stealing Korekuda-san's coin, he told us that he slipped under the steak. You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak? Attention! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentlelady if she'd mind me manhandling her mail to hide something in it. In other words, the steak the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's mail. But that makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table. Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. So, would anyone like to defend the British Empire here? About their habits of stealing artifacts and the like? Don't get me wrong, the US is just as bad. We just haven't had as much time to do it. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over. You did switch the plates. Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak, hid the coin underneath it. But then, when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, then that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have! I never saw you do such a thing! It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you, so yes, I did what I had to be done. Unbelievable! However, fear not, Prosecutor-san. What now? I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform. That's all I did, sir. All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both. Ah. That's correct. Then please, present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot.
Shut up!
What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold stab through the meat could have been the slight. It couldn't have a cold slab of meat, of tough meat. It can't have the slightest bearing on this case. No, you're not wriggling out your way out of it this time, lady. I beg your pardon. Surely you're not that forgetful. And surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see the plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Thinks he remembers. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear splattering of blood from the gunshot wound in the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak on the plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir! Look at the blood splatter. Sorry for keeping you. Here it is, the other steak on its plate. Please feel free to examine it. The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look.
Yes!
Now, this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. It can't be. In fact, there's only one person who could have possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right, Miss Giselle Brett. It's you. The murderer is you. You're the murderer. Outdone by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No, no, no! Yeah. Why are there so many chicks? Oh, look at the black swan. Really? Really? Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. A most unbecoming favor for an English gentlewoman. Please forgive me. Forgive me. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time. Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life using curare. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because curare is unheard of here in Japan. Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would be all over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over and greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. But I made sure he was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair, such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. Excuse me. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happened to know that the professor was always carried a gun, and decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. Under your skirt? So I was right, there were two guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor, placing it where you were sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, that's when you shot the professor with your own gun, even though at that point he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around. Because of course, you needed it to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he'd picked up the gun. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. I'm Dark. Your felony? Your Excellency? Yes. I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? I shall call on you. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. Really? She's getting away, someone fly after her? Yeah. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement? This can't be. Takesuchi Ouchi does not lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student. You'd better start getting used to the tough opposition. Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? Yes? This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgiven. He becomes conceited with age, counsel, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Is he Blackwell's Is he Blackwell's ancestor? 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Aochi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. I thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits. But what will it look like? I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Osogi, yes? After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Ah, never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh, yes? In you, I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty. Ouchie. This court is now adjourned. November 2:46 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber 5. It can't be. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. I was wrong. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence. Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know. Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Ah, yes, of course. Speaking of Mikotoba. Ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you, after all. Your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself when he went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably that's when you met Dr. Wilson? Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I've never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world in science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear it on the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And he cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I mean, I'm certain of that. What? But why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Inspector Hosonaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate... But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then who's going to bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the friendship treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature, our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but doesn't justify our government making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil, this new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt that that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. But Professor, you're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about the details for now. To La Carnival, will you accompany us, Professor? Of course, La Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh yes, thank you. So, Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma. Yes, Ryunosuke. I just wanted to say thanks again. That's all. You really saved my skin today. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day, I bet you'll be a better lawyer, the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I can't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. What? Come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it, for being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat? Never wanted to go through that ever. I never want to go through that again, ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No, the ability to believe. To believe what? Excuse me. A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the court, you can really be backed into a corner. But in being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe, and even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, you faced a seemingly hopeless situation time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it through your own efforts and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. It sounds serious. What is... Ah, you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Yeah, who needs knowledge of the law? The dark age of the law. I am law! Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory and your study tour. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah, yes, that too. Almost sounds like Kazuma should be thanking Rio. Rio, yeah. So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Susato-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support all of these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize, just how much it would change my life. In episode 1. Save my current progress? Yes. All right. So, as is typical, with so little time left of the stream, we're not going to continue with sneak peek. You know it's not going to happen, Pokey. We're not going to continue with Ace Attorney right now. Instead, we're going to switch over to Blueprints. So give me a moment to get out of Ace Attorney. Pokey, if you can... We live in a democracy! Ostensibly. Why won't you let me out of the game? Why do I have to go to the option? The game wants speak peaks. Great typo, Pokey. All right. So I need to end the stream over on YouTube, come up with a new title. Pokey, can you change the game while I do this?